Hey there, it's Tim Gross from PianoGenius.com, and something that's always frustrated me is the difference between a beginning guitar player who can just learn 3 or 4 or 5 chords and just go out and entertain his friends sitting around a campfire singing everybody's favorite songs, and beginning piano players who are traditionally told there's like 1,000 things they need to learn before they can even consider playing a basic song, and then when they are playing a basic song, it's going to sound really basic. And so what I wanted to show you today is what I'm calling cowboy chords, because that's what you call acoustic guitars. If you see a guy sitting around a campfire singing an Eagles song, these open chords that you're playing, those are called cowboy chords, because the kind of thing that cowboys would play when they're sitting around a campfire. I said wear because I was going to wear a cowboy hat for this, but turns out I don't have one. All right, so I've broken down what I do into a series of patterns, and I do play one pattern, I'll play a different pattern, I'll mix the two of them. So what I want to do is show you my cowboy chord pattern, which I use all the time. In fact, I was just recently stumbled onto this thing where I played it in a song called The Boxer. La 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 la. Okay, that's it. That's the whole thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to play it. I'm going to show you some alternatives to make it easier if it seems too challenging, and I'm going to show you ways to make it sound cooler if it seems really straight ahead to you. So let's dive in, okay? So here is the move, and I'm going to play a C chord, only going to be playing the 1, 3, and 5 notes with the C chord. And the basics of the move is this: 1, 2, 3, 4. So practice doing that, all right? The next thing is to alternate between the 1 and the 5 note in the left hand. So going like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And by the way, that's the pattern for a polka. That's how you play a polka. So it's basically a polka, but we're adding some things and making it sound less polka-ish, because we don't really necessarily want to sound like we're playing a polka here. Okay. So here's the full move: 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay. So 1 and 2 and 3, and then whatever the bottom note is of the chord, go and 4 and. So you're always playing this as like this: 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. And I like holding down the sustain pedal because it makes it sound nicer. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. All right, so a couple of alternatives. You don't have to play all 3 notes in the beginning. You could go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. And as far as the 1 and the 5 notes, you can't help but notice that there's another 1 or 8, however you want to look at it, up here. So you could go like this, play octaves: 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. All right, and that's pretty much it. No matter what chord you're playing, you're just going to be playing the 1, 3, and 5 notes up here, and you're going to be alternating between the 1 and the 5 note down here. Now, the only thing you're going to run into is when you're playing a chord pattern, chord progression, that sometimes the chords are far away from each other, so you have to figure out what to do about that. So let's look, for instance, at the Eagles' Peaceful Easy Feeling. All right, so I like the way you sparkling earrings lay against your skin so brown. Now, you might think that this sounds a little bit high, and it is kind of high. So one of the things you can do is not always play the root inversion of the chord. And I'm not going to get into inversions in this video because that's a whole other video. But we got 1, 3, 5, and of course that's also a 1 or an 8, depending on how you want to look at it. And we've got, for F, we've got 1, 3, 5, and then we play down here. If we play an octave, we can see that that's there as well. So instead of playing it like this, 1, 3, 5, we can play with the 1 on top, and that would look like this. So whichever inversion you're playing of the chord, you always play the thumb first, and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, all right? So sometimes when we're playing it, we're going to play the root note on the bottom, and then sometimes like with the F, we're going to play it on the top, and notice that there's a stretch there. And if you're not sure how to find the chord, just look at like that and go, okay. There's 4 chords, 4 notes, 1, 2, 3, 4 in between the 1 and the 5 note there. So I like the way your sparkling earrings lay against your skin so brown. And the other thing you have as far as choices with the left hand, besides playing octaves and going, I like the way your sparkling earrings lay against your skin so brown. Okay, other alternative is we've got the 1 and the 5, but we also have the 1 up here also. You can think of it as an A, but it's also the 1. So when we're moving around to different chords, let's look at this. So so this is 1 and the 5. When we go to F, the way, so this is the 1 and this is the 5. This is also a 5 down here. Even though it's a C, for a C chord it's the root, but for the F chord it's the 5. So we could go like this, way sparkling. So that's the 1 and that's the 5. So let's look at what that looks like if you wanted to do that. I like the way your sparkling earrings lay against your skin so brown. And it is kind of weird how the 1 is the 5 note of the F, but it's also the 1 of the C. And if you don't quite follow that or that's confusing, just don't worry about it. I'm just showing you different options. But you can do this on so many songs. And I just did a classic rock I filled in with some friends of mine. I live in Palm Springs, California, just 2 nights ago, and realized how often I played this pattern. I was playing Ramblin' Man. Lord, I was born a rambling man, trying to make a living and do the best I can. When it's time for leaving, I hope you'll understand that I was born a rambling man. Eddie Money, Driving My Life Away. Ooh, I'm driving my life away, looking for a better way for me. And these songs are all faster, which is what kind of makes them sound interesting. Ooh, I'm driving my life away, looking for a better way for me. And that's it. So just get used to the pattern. It feels funny at first, alternating between the, the 1 and the 5, but once you got it, you've got it. And there's so many songs that work for that. And so that's one pattern. And once you've got that down, you pick up a few more patterns, and then you can alternate between the patterns, and you're golden and sounding good. So I hope this helps you be able to take these sort of songs that are sort of awkward to play on piano if you don't have this Cowboy Chords style playing that I just showed you. Go forth and multiply. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks.